Hi folks, my name is Bill Cook. This is a very embarrassing video to shoot. Kim and I have had rental properties for what, Kim, 25 years? So we've done this for a long time, and rarely, like 3 times in our lives, have we gotten a house back from a tenant that's in this condition. And I don't mean in good condition. So the best landlording teacher we know of is David Tilney. David and Mary Tilney are just phenomenal coaches. They've been working with us and taught us for a long, long time. But anyway, so there's 4 things that we learned from David. Number 1 is the tenant has to take good care of the property. Number 2 is pay rent on time. Number 3 is be a good neighbor. Number 4, easy to work with. But that first one, take good care of the property inside and out, is so important, because when they don't, that can cost you not like a month or two's worth of rent, but you're talking $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 damage. Now, for Kim and me, our real estate investing lives, our landlording lives, has changed significantly over the last year. So last August 2018, we sold our horse ranch, and Kim and I have moved into a motorhome, and we now spend most of our time traveling around the country, seeing the sites, teaching different areas, having a really enjoyable time. That was the whole point of why we got into investing and having mailbox money, so we could go travel. So I was here before we headed out on this year's romp around the country. I was here in mid-March, and when I was here, the wife and husband were having kind of a problem with the house probably 3 or 4 times. They've been in the house for probably 5 years, and 3 or 4 times over those years I came by, the grass was too high, or there was stuff in the yard, something, but they always would take care of the problem, and they were okay to work with for another 6 months, whatever. Then, you know, I'd have to stop in and say something to them again. The thing was, I was here to do it, but we left in March and didn't come back until the end of September, so I did not have eyeballs on this property, and Kim and I manage our own properties. We haven't gone to a property management company, because most of our properties are well taken care of, with great people, great residents in those homes, doing what they're supposed to do. And like I said, this is an embarrassing video, because I didn't even want to shoot it, and Kim was like, no, there's a good lesson to teach here, so this is what we're going to go do. So David and Mary, I'm sorry I let you down on this one, because it got away from me. So here's what happened. When we left at the end of March, it turns out there was a marital conflict going on. The husband moved out. The boyfriend moved in immediately. I think we know the source of the conflict. But also the boyfriend's buddies came over and friends came over, and I think this house became like party central, as you're going to see. And whatever was being taken care of now wasn't. So when I came here at the end of September to renew the lease, actually, before, I just want to renew the lease, because they've been paying on time, and so I came by and saw the house, and when I looked at it, there was a bunch of stuff in the yard, and I just thought, that's 4 or 5 times, that's enough. Instead of renewing the lease at the end of September, I gave them by the October 31st 2019, which was 30 days later, to move out of the house. The lease was not going to be renewed, and they needed to move from the property. And so we're here today, November the 4th, 2019. I came by yesterday when we came back in town, and make sure they were out. And they were out. It's just they left a lot of stuff here. And because of the amount of stuff they left here, Kim had to order this, because Kim handles all the rehabs. So Kim, do you like having this great big orange thing?
I do not, but that will be one of 2 that will be dropped today.
You're kidding.
2.
That's what it's going to take?
Yes.
So that's how much stuff the tenant left. So let's go take a look. And again, when I was out here in September, end of September, to renew the lease, when I got here, the house looked like this, and it upset me. And there's a hole over here in the door. And obviously a dog chewed its way through the door, to the garage door. And that upset me. And you can't see this on the front door, but on the front door there's more scratch marks. And when I talked to the people here at the end of September, they said, well, the neighbor's dog's doing that. Well, I went to the backyard, and on the back door, which is fenced in, there were scratch marks on the back door. So I guess the neighbor's dog jumped the fence, like super dog, underdog. Anyway, jumped the fence and then scratched on the back door too. So they were lying to me, and they said they didn't smoke, and there's like 100 cigarette butts out here in the yard. So they were lying to me. So again, this is going to embarrass me. Let's go. Come take a look. And Kim and I have been so good with our rental properties, and we've done this for 25 years, and only 2 or 3 times, this is like the 2nd or 3rd times ever, have we been somewhere where someone left a home like this. But look at this. So there's marks on the wall, crayon on the wall, crayon on the wall. And again, this is a recent thing. This has happened since the end of March, but that's how bad the house can go. And you should know that normally when we were in town, before we went on the motorhome, I stop by my rentals all the time because everything I have is in a 5-mile circle around the Cartersville, Georgia Walmart. And so I go by and see my homes all the time. I stop in and knock on the door. Is everything okay? You know, can I get a sandwich? Can I get a drink of water? That's what gets me in the house. So anyway, let's go take a look at the kitchen. And by the way, when you're working foreclosures, you see this kind of mess a lot. By the way, if you want some steak sauce, I'll sell it to you pretty cheap. We'll put this on eBay or not. And this is just embarrassing, you know? And again, we're going to do another video after this one to tell you what we're going to do with this house, because we're going to take this from a rental to being an owner finance sale. So here we go, but we have doors up here that are broken, and it's just, this is what happens. So anyway, I just wanted you to see what's going on and to say, if you have rental property, you have to inspect what you expect. And I've always been a big believer in going by my homes regularly, and I knock on the door regularly. And again, when I'm there, either I've got to go to the bathroom, or I've got to get a drink of water, or do you have some bologna for a sandwich? And I have good relationships with my tenants, but it lets me see the inside and the outside of the house. And if I don't see what I want to see, if I start seeing something trashy, we let them know really quick. And again, going back to David's rule, you know, number 1, take care of the property. Number 2, pay rent on time. Number 3, be easy to work with. Number 4, be a good neighbor. And they can stay in the home for as long as they want, as long as they do those 4 things. But if they fail to do any one of those 4 things, they have to move. So there is a good lesson here. When I came here to renew the lease in September, at the end of September, I didn't want to have to rent to a new tenant. Kim and I, in November, I'm getting ready to head down to Largo, Florida for the winter to basically stalk Pete for the next 3 months. But we're going to have to put that off now. And I would love to not put that off. I'd love to have been able to sign a new lease with these people and just leave them in here. But now it's going to require more work. But the big lesson here is, as soon as I saw this house trashed again, worse than it had been, and learned that the husband had moved out and there's a boyfriend here and stuff going on, we didn't waste any time. I pulled back that letter that said we're going to renew the lease, and I rewrote a new one on a piece of paper that said, because of the condition of the house, your lease is not being renewed and you need to be out by October 31st, 2019. So as landlords, when you see people start, they're not paying on time, or they're not taking good care of the property, something's going wrong, react quickly. Don't just sit there and let this thing fester up. Anyway, that was it. Hope you got something out of this. Y'all take care. Have a great day. Get out and talk to some sellers. And remember to always ask Pete Fortunato's famous question, which is, why are you selling such a nice home like this?